Hello students, today we are looking at some mathematical problems and how to solve them. Let us start. Solve this quadratic equation x squared plus 2x plus 1 is equal to 0 to obtain its roots x1 and x2. So the product in this case of the coefficient of the first term and the third term is 1, and the sum of those two is 2. So the sum is usually the coefficient of the middle term, and therefore the factors that give us the sum of 2 and the product of 1 are 1x and 1x. Therefore, we put them here in place of 2x. So we get x squared plus x plus 1 is equal to 0. And therefore, as you can see here, we have tried to put in two terms to represent this single term at the center. And we want to go on and, of course, factorize the first pair here and then factorize the second pair. So to do that, we are going to start with what is common between these two, x into x plus 1 plus 1 into x plus 1. These two must be identical. So x plus 1, we put it here, plus x plus 1, which we take from either of these two identical twins, is equal to 0. That means that either x is equal to -1 or x is equal to -1 when you equate x plus 1 is equal to 0 or x plus 1 is equal to 0, because this will mean that the positive one here goes beyond the equal sign to become negative on the right hand side. That is how we solve that first problem. Let's move to the second problem and see how we can solve it. Solve these simultaneous equations to find the values of x and y. X plus 2y is equal to 3, 2x plus 5y is equal to 10. So in this case, we first make x the subject of the formula so that we have x is equal to 3 minus 2y, and by substitution of x in this second equation, 2 into x, which is 3 minus 2y plus 5y is equal to 10, and of course 2 times 3 is 6 minus 2 times 2 is 4y plus 5y is equal to 10, so y is equal to 4. But x is equal to 3 minus 2y, so x is equal to 3 minus 2 times 4. X is equal to 3 minus 8, and therefore x is equal to -5. So x is equal to -5 and y is equal to 4. Next, we look at this problem, find the value of 512 squared and a cube root. So we are looking for the cube root of 512 squared. In this case, we are going to resolve 512 into its prime factors, and those are 2 by 16 by 16, but 16 is 2 raised to power 4, therefore this is the same as 2 power 1 multiplied by 2 raised to power 4 multiplied by 2 raised to power 4. By laws of indices, because the bases are the same, you add the powers 1 plus 4 plus 4 to obtain 2 raised to power 9. Now we need to get 512 squared or raised to power 2. So 512 squared is equal to 2 raised to power 9 multiplied by 2 raised to power 9, and that means that you add the powers because the bases are the same to get 2 raised to power 18. Then we need to find the cube root of 512 squared, which is the cube root of 2 power 18, and that is, of course, 2 power 18. We divide the powers because we are obtaining the cube root, so this gives us 18 divided by 3, which is 2 power 6. So 2 power 6, as you can see, can be split into 2 raised to power 3 times 2 raised to power 3, but 2 raised to power 3 is 8, and therefore this 2 power 6 is the same as 8 by 8, or 8 times 8, which is equal to 64. So the cube root of 512 squared is equal to 64. Next, we look at this problem involving Emma and her son. This involves age also. Emma is twice as old as her son Peter. In 10 years' time, the sum of their ages will be equal to 116 years. Find their ages currently. Find also a quarter of the sum of their current ages. So in this case, we need to find, of course, the age of the son, then we find the age of the mother. So we are creating a table. The son is X, and the mother is 2x rather. So the total of their ages after 10 years will be equal to 2x plus 10 and plus x plus 10, because each of them is going to have 10 more years, so an increase of 10 in the ages. So put like terms together, 3x plus 20 is equal to 116, and that means that 3x is equal to 96, because we are subtracting 116 minus 20, and that means that if we divide both sides by 3, x is equal to 32 years. So the age of the son is 32 years, and the age of the mother is 2 times 32, which is 64. We are required to find a quarter of the sum of their current ages, which is a quarter of 96, 32 plus 64, and therefore the quarter is 24 years. Next, we need to look at this problem. Every month, Dan spends a quarter of his salary on food, a fifth on rent, an eighth on fees. He saves a third of the remainder and sends the rest to his parents. If he earns $3,600 in total, how much does he save in a year? So let us assume that his total salary is 1. Food takes a quarter, rent takes a fifth, and fees takes 1/8, and the savings are a third of what is left, or the remainder, which is 1 minus the total of food, rent, and fees. And that, of course, is a third of 1 minus a quarter plus a fifth plus 1/8, which is a third of 1 minus 23/40, which, of course, is a third of 17/40, which is 17/120. And in a year, this will be multiplied by 12. So 12 times 17/120, of course, of $3,600. And that will give us $4,080.